I prepared my GM screen, the preparation, and so we're ready if you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. As always, you've been summoned in front of the navigator by the request of the supplicant. And you can tell that this prayer that reaches through your dominion is not a kind of formalized ritual. This time is a request, more like someone thinking aloud. How is this possible? Things are really fucked up, and I need to get a move because I don't know what to do. And as you've been summoned by in front of the navigator, you can see for Hazard and Lilith is the old and reassuring presence of the navigator, which on every ant it seems to awake and acquire new sensitivity to this to his surroundings. So right at the very beginning, it was kind of like a slumbering giant vermin. Now it's very aware of his surroundings and it recognizes you with his 1,000 eyes glinting at you and speaking with this chanting voice like Azure, Lilith, and then he sniffs at the new arrival, kind of confused, and say, "Which?" And it's kind of like confused / inquisitive, looking for your reply.
I don't reply. I'm just looking and kind of standing there, and I just say the name Mask.
And the vermin is like almost terrified by this new revelation, shivering and mourning, and he doesn't even reply to the old circle. Suddenly swallows you even more rapidly than before, and kind of fall into this winding tunnel, these lights and colors in space melting into each other, and you're suddenly you arrive at this it's kind of a idyllic setting, like a tropical beach, and the sunset, kind of like a postcard for tourists. You can hear the seagulls and the waves crashing on the shore. You're actually there. And just in front of you, there are a series of vultures and a man, quite normal, a tourist one. The exception is that he has no face. He doesn't have a face. Or rather, the moment you just try to guess in what his face looks like, you receive this kind of glimpse and then you forget about it. The moment you just blink, you just kind of forget and remember in this kind of real fast loop. And the man is quite surprised to see you, and he approaches you and says, "I wasn't expecting anyone. Who are you?"
Well, that's kind of our cue to hold up our keys of humanity, right? I mean, that's and I think the compassion key is kind of our touch point for hearing the call of a supplement. So is it really all that difficult? I mean, I'm definitely going to hold up my key of humanity. I'm also going to, turn and look in a welcoming way, like, kind of join us to Mask, whom I'm kind of interested in what they look like in a minute. But that's kind of, I mean, you guys know what Hazard looks like from the picture, I think. But that's very different from the kind of vaporous gloved form of Lilith, right?
Yeah.
And so, with any luck, this is our shot, our group shot, right, of the three of us. But I'm holding up the key of humanity, and saying, the need is great.
Mhm. I hold mine
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
But silent. I just let him speak, and I just hold my key.
What does it look like? What's the object, Pedro?
It's like a small mini book. You know those mini
Right. You
Bibles.
told me. Yeah, I remember
So
that from the
each
write-up.
key,
Yeah.
each key is like a mini book
Oh, that's cool.
in like a chain.
Oh, you and Lilith are going to get along really well. It's going to be. Can I read that?
the man looks at your keys, and he's kind of puzzled and curious, and he just timidly asks, "Okay, I don't know what these are, so maybe you're here for some kind of business, I suppose." That's reassuring. I mean, the idea that you're not here to end this quickly, but I'm afraid I can help with that. I mean, take a seat, and I suppose that we don't have much time, but we can spend some time together. And yeah, I don't know how to help you with that. And as he gets closer, it says, "It's the first time someone's visiting, and I've been traveling here for a long time. I guess you're guests like me." And he says, "I'm curious, what are you going to do after you leave this place?"
I don't mean to
Just
step
a
on anyone else.
question.
Go ahead, Pedro first. Yeah.
Do we recognize him as the supplicant or not?
No, it's not the supplicant.
Yeah, we're not
You're in
actually
the
through the
space
veil yet.
between,
Ah, okay.
Right.
but something is off.
Yeah.
You mean,
Yeah.
the idea is that the guardian should, guard the place between the flesh
Yeah.
and the dream. But this one doesn't seem a guardian.
He
at all.
doesn't seem to grasp that we are crossing through, or that we
Okay.
are stalkers. Can I? Listen to me. Can I? Can I? Sensitivity roll. What the hell is going on here? Sensitivity, or yeah. This is sensitivity. I want to get a grasp on the veil, the flesh, the essence. What's going on here? So it's a little bit like what I would do with an enigma. Same thing, same concept. So
Sure.
So okay, so that's awareness, which is my nice, tasty 6 dice, and which has a bonus of +3. So let's see how I do. Oh, 15 plus 3 is 18.
Easy. Go. Yes. You can guess that this is an unusual case in the activity of the circle. This in front of you may be a parasite. Parasites infest the navigators sometimes, and usually they are aggressive, sometimes they're benevolent, but they do not last long. At some point, they are eliminated. You are required
Navigator
to
immune
eliminate.
system gets them. Yeah.
Yes, perfect. And it's kind of a bug in the system. And while this isn't or doesn't seem in any way aggressive, it surely will be eliminated soon. Maybe the reference to "we don't have much time" is
Self-aware.
is referring to that.
Okay. So I'll convey as much and says it's not the guardian. This is nothing but a parasite. If we may pass, if, as we see fit, then that's fine. But beware, they can be dangerous. So should we just proceed through? And I'll actually look at Lilith kind of in the sense of kill it if it bugs us. you know? So, if possible, I would like to proceed through the veil, and not have any more drama with this thing. Where can we go and what can we do, Adriano, for that purpose?
Sure. As you kind of ignoring him, he realizes that you're kind of a hurry and says, "Well, I was expecting something more fitting for my epitaph, but well, the sea will take you to the flesh. Just go on, submerge yourself, and this will be over quickly. And well, I guess this is it. I suppose that I'll see you on the other side. Do you die effectively?"
I
With
just
luck,
look.
yeah.
I just look at it and say nothing.
I'm just compassionate enough to say goodbye.
I move to the water.
He doesn't say anything, and he just sits on one of these vultures and looks at you as you traverse the sea, and you just go begin to enter the waves and into the sea. And just as you're submerging your head, you can see a burning flesh impressed through your retinas, and something like a nuclear explosion at the distance in the sea. You can see the fungus expanding and the water in the distance boiling as you continue to slowly advance. And then the image of the beach, of the tropical sea, of the seagulls is enveloped in radiance, and then you don't see anything else. And
that's kind of touching on some of my memories, which is upsetting, but okay. Cool.
I'm imagining that we're walking on the water and just like straight and getting lower and lower and the head submerging.
Well,
yes,
side by side,
yeah,
while the blast comes over.
Yeah, that's sort of interesting.
Cool. And just like that, in a moment, without realization, you end up in a city. It's a block, or residential block of an unnamed city. The first impression is that there are just to the other side of the streets, there are people moving, busy, like sort of like some kind of bees amassing at the center of one of the row houses that are in the street. And the impression is mixed with all these colors and sounds suddenly clicking up. And of course, the confusion is there's an initial confusion as the veil tries to fill up the information about space and time. And this is the critical moment when you roll your history to determine how much information the veil provides you.
I just want to succeed on one history roll, and then I can die happy.
Knowledge. You're the berserk.
History is insight, right?
Yeah.
How'd you do, Noah?
I've got a 9.
So I have two 4s. So that would
Yes.
be an 8 with
Yes.
+2, that's 10.
Right. And I actually have a very poor roll, landing me with a total of 8.
Well, that's interesting because Mask is the only one getting
Right.
where you are,
Right. Uh-huh.
and the realization is interesting. You're in currently 1986, and you're in DC. This is quite easy because you can even observe from the street you are to the north, the Capitol Hill, and but it's quite in the distance. Right now, you can locate precisely where you are, the Tuxton Circle neighborhood, and you're filled with enough information to assume a mask that is not only fitting, but it can also be quite useful to obtain information and to pass as one of the residents of the zone. As for you, your Azure the Lilith, the mask that the veil provides you is more generic.
Right.
You're kind of like, it's easy for a bystander to say that you're not from here.
Well, it is DC,
Avoid.
so we look like generic American tourists, I imagine.
Yes,
So,
yes, I was imagining that.
yeah, whichever.
As for the more specific look mask, you can actually decide a bit. I was thinking about one of the residents in terms of I'm from here and I'm do not raise any kind of suspicion. But of course, the precise description of your mask is up to you, with these general lines.
Do I also, my understanding as well is that it shifts based on situations we're in. So that if we walk into, for example, a hospital or something, we could fit in better there as staff just because. So, in other words, the veil shifts
the real
around
difference
us as we
is
go
the
from place to place.
yeah. The real difference is really the idea of how much you fit into this,
Right.
in terms of information. So
Right, that I understand. So okay, wow. All right, so I'll look about and say it reminds me, of my life. I mean, it's America, but I'm not sure. And also it's after my time, right? It's after the '60s, so so I guess, are you going to orient us a little bit?
Yeah, I relay the information basically to my partners.
So you currently understand, Mask, that there's a distinction in DC. This period is marked by a strict separation between what you would consider the center of the finance and touristic attractions and history and the suburbs. And this particular period, as you can observe as a grisly reminder on the other side of the street, is marked by violence fueled by crack cocaine.